Guys, what is up? Grant Cardone is losing. All right. So just so you guys know this, for everybody who's already watching on the Instagram live feed, I'm going to talk about this video. Apparently, I cannot find the video where Aaron Smith-Levin was talking about Grant Cardone's response to all the haters. He's done several videos like this, so I thought I'd just reference an old video because there's a lot for me to break down and a lot of thoughts and feelings and memories, bad memories that come up for me when I hear him talking like this. So I wanted to break it down and give you my thoughts on what he's trying to say, what he's trying to do, and like pull back the layers and see through the smoke and mirrors and the bullshit that he's trying to put out there. Yeah, and one thing I just realized I did not do was put up the thumbnail. How terrible is that? But that's okay. We're going to get right into it. That's just part of me. You know, I'm scrambling. I'm getting dinner ready. I'm doing all this stuff. So I was like, I got to get a podcast out. Like, this is how it goes sometimes. But anyways, Aaron Smith-Levin did a podcast, or not a podcast, a live stream talking about, and he kind of played Grant Cardone's video where he's talking about the haters and the clickbaiters and this and that. And so I couldn't find it. I think Aaron took it down because usually I'm pretty good at finding the same. And I looked at my watch history and I couldn't find it. And I was like, what the hell? Like, so I think Aaron took it down. I don't know if he had to take it down or what. If so, that's unfortunate. I have not heard of him ever having to take it down. So that would be new. However, I did find another video and I thought it'd be good to just break it down because he really just says the same shit over and over anyway. So I'm just like, oh, I briefly played the video Grant was talking in. I was like, yeah, this sounds like the same shit he was just talking about. So we're going to break it down. I'm going to break it down. We're going to do it together. And I'm going to show you what he's trying to say, the narrative he's trying to create. And yeah, we're going to go from there. Let me get it all set up here. Here we go. Yeah, so we're going to jump right into it. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So this is a video Grant did talking about haters and clickbaiters. And essentially, like I said, the video was just like the video that Aaron Smith-Levin was talking about. So
of you out there that are handling haters and criticism and clickbaiters here on this YouTube channel. I've been handling this for, I don't know, doing this for 10 or 12 years. I was just doing a big event in Scottsdale, Arizona for about 1,000 people. And one of the questions that came out of that event is, how do you handle all the haters and the claims and the people saying whatever they want to say? You know, with this internet, you can say almost anything you want to say about anybody today without any proof or receipts. And the thing that I've done to handle that, and again, I've been handling it for a long time, and the more successful I get, the more you get of it. This is not about you or even me. When you're getting clickbaited, dragged on, claims, whatever. Like, there's thousands of people that do this on a daily basis to get attention for their own channel. Okay, they're doing it to get ad dollars. They're clickbaiting Mark Zuckerberg, Kanye West, Jeff Bezos, you name it, they're going to do it. Mark Cuban, all the successful people, they're going to find anybody that's creating at massive levels of success, and they're going to use that name. Now, the way to handle that is to understand, number one, success comes with this, okay? It does not. The higher you go up the tree, the more people are going to be like, look at him, he's going to fall. They want you to fall. They want to take you down, okay? They want to hurt you. But most importantly, they're trying to get attention for their own brand or name, and they have nothing to create for themselves. If they can't create anything, what they do is they hate, okay? It's like hate is the opposite of create. You can't create and hate at the same time. All
right, so I'm going to stop right there just because, like I said, the thoughts are flooding in, and I got to speak in real time when this comes up. So he's talking about how let's just bag it up. Hold on. Let me make some notes here before I forget. Because man, all right. So he's talking about success. I want to be very clear. I do agree with what Grant is saying. The more of anything you do, I wouldn't even call it success. So the more of anything you do, the more you put yourself out there, the more you get passionate about something you want to talk about, you are going to get haters. I mean, even if you didn't do that, there's going to be haters. I hate the term haters. It's such a in the box type of label. There are people who always try to, or who will doubt you, who will try to bring you down. That's part of life. It's not just when you're trying to be successful. So yes, the more you're trying to put yourself out there, whether it's on social media or you're going to events, you're spreading your thoughts, your message, your passion, you are going to receive more of that because you're just putting yourself out there. You're kind of just, you're there. All right. Not everybody's going to agree with you. That's just life. That's just life. And so that being the case, if not everybody agrees with you and then you put yourself out there more, you're going to get a lot of more people responding that don't agree with you. That's just part of it. But the whole narrative about using his name, I had this accusation so many times. I wish I didn't have to say anything about Grant Cardone. I really wish something would happen to him. Scientology would get busted. He would get busted. He'd go maybe sit out. I don't wish bad on anybody. However, when I see an organization or a person harming other people, I do wish for that to stop and at all costs. If that involves Grant Cardone sitting in a jail cell for a year to reflect on his thoughts and find himself and have an epiphany, so be it. So using his name, I had this accusation early on, like everybody always say, oh, you're just using Grant Cardone's name for clout and all this stuff. Trust me, dude, I'm not using Grant for shit. I don't need Grant for anything. I'm just talking. I'm just spreading my message. You know, unfortunately, I had a experience with Grant Cardone. So I would be doing people a disservice if I didn't talk about that experience, especially when this experience is relative to my passion of what I'm talking about. And if, in my opinion, I guess I'll have to stress out, in my opinion, if Grant Cardone's out here scamming and he's deceiving people and manipulating people and teaching people like me to do the same thing, I'm going to talk about it. All right. And I had that experience, so I'm going to talk about my experience. It's just part of it. There's going to be a point where I'm not going to be talking about Grant Cardone. That doesn't mean I'm going to be talking about other people. This channel is about two things. One, calling things as I see it. Misguided mentors, self-serving entrepreneurs, gurus. If I see something off, I'm going to talk about it. If I see a red flag, I'm going to bring awareness to it. The other thing is I'm trying to help entrepreneurs navigate this self-development atmosphere, this predatory environment that can be very attractive and very deceiving and very manipulative. And if you're not careful, the same thing is going to happen to you that happened to me, and it's happening to a lot of people right now. Your vulnerability is going to get preyed on. You're going to get exploited, and you're going to get taken advantage of, and you're going to go down a dark hole, down a rabbit hole. You're going to lose yourself. And I'm trying to help people and prevent that from happening as much as possible. So that's the two things I'm doing. That doesn't mean I'm trying to use Grant Cardone's names. I don't give a shit about Grant Cardone. All right. I care about the people that he's actually hurting, and what I think is terrible. There's families, there's businesses being destroyed and things like that. I'm not being dramatic either. Like a lot of people who don't know what that atmosphere is like, you have no idea until you get involved with it. So this is something I experienced. This is something I've seen. I've seen it happen to people that make a lot of money. I've seen it happen to people that don't make a lot of money. I've seen it happen to people who aren't very smart. I've seen it happen to people that are super intelligent. So it doesn't discriminate. Gurus don't discriminate. Money's money. Mindsets are mindsets. They're after your mind. They're not after your money. They get your mind. They can get everything from you, including your money. So I'm trying to bring awareness to that thing. So the other thing that he said was you can't create and you can't... what did he say? You can't create and hate at the same time. So again, I've been called a hater so many times. I don't hate anybody. Even Grant Cardone, I don't hate. I just think he's a fucking misguided mentor. I think he's lost. He's what I call a lost leader with false confidence, preaching ethics. All right. And in case you didn't actually catch my misguided mentor rap that I did a while back, that was a line from that rap. I think that's what they are. It's just, out here teaching business metrics when it's all unethical, in my opinion. So anyways, I'm not hating. So that being the case, yes, I can create and I can call out people at the same time. That's exactly the two things that this channel is all about. It's about calling things out. It's about creating awareness, creating foundation for people so they can navigate the self-development matrix. And also, it's not hating, it's calling out people. So I don't consider myself a hater. It's impossible for me to be a hater when I'm sitting here saying, I don't hate people. I don't hate all these gurus I'm calling out. I just think they're lost. I think they're misguided. They're deceived. They've taken temptations. Therefore, they're blinded, and they're living a life of ego and pride, and they're self-serving. So does that mean I hate them? No, it just means I think they're lost. And so I pray to God that they're actually going to find themselves, have an epiphany, and change their ways. So now that has been said, I hope everybody understands where I'm coming from. Yeah, what's up, dude? Hey, McWeb Studio. Exactly. You got screwed over after hiring a business coach. So to my point exactly, let me remind you guys, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do that. It's called Today's Misguided Mentors. I'll be able to see your comments real time right in front of me because I don't pay attention to the Instagram Live while I'm streaming as much, but I did happen to catch that comment. So if you can shift over to the YouTube channel, I'd love to respond to your comments on there. But yeah, like the individual was saying, that's another thing I'm doing. I'm trying to create, something so that people can reference and have a solid foundation for when they're looking for a mentor, like what kind of questions to ask, what to look for, what red flags indicate whether this person's a good mentor or a bad mentor, stuff like that. Nobody taught me that before I went into the self-development space. Nobody taught me these things before I started networking, before I started going to public speaking events, and even speaking at public speaking events. I've been speaking at public speaking events for probably 4 years now. And even then, when I've spoken at a conference, I've bought some things that I regretted because I was still susceptible to being deceived. Like, it doesn't matter what position you're in. You're going into that atmosphere. It's a very strong energy. A lot of it is self-serving. A lot of it is misguided. A lot of it is glorifying somebody, worshiping somebody, idolizing somebody. There's just a lot of it's self-serving energy is the best way to put it. So anyways, let him keep talking here so I can respond to the next things he's saying. I can't stand it when he's talking like this.
They did this to Jesus. They did it to Gandhi.
Hold up.
To Oprah. They did it to They did this to Jesus. They did it to Gandhi.
This is the exact same, actually. Okay, so maybe I watched a video, an old video that Aaron did, because this is the exact same video actually that I was watching. I was afraid I couldn't find it. This is in fact the same video. He straight up referenced himself and compared himself to Jesus. Did I hear that right? I know everybody heard that. He's talking about they did this to Jesus. They did. Okay, he's right. They didn't hate on him. They thought he was a false prophet. So anyways, this isn't a religious channel. I'm not religious. I believe in God 100% without a shadow of a doubt, but I'm not religious and I don't identify with the religion, just so you guys understand that about me. That's a little personal information that you might want to know about me. But anyways, yes, he just compared himself to Jesus. That is quite crazy, actually. So I think by his subtle way of bringing that up, he put himself on that frequency, in my opinion.
They did it to Oprah. They did it to Obama. They did it to Trump. Okay, if you're gonna blow, if you're gonna get big,
they did it to Oprah.
If you're gonna service the world, help the world, become a charitable source. If you're gonna disrupt anything, look what they do to Elon Musk, the entire automotive industry. And Biden wouldn't invite him to an automotive conference where they're discussing electric cars. How's that even possible? Every great person that's ever walked on planet Earth, male or female, young or old, has been hated on, has been clickbaited, dragged, criticized, ridiculed, dismissed, called a fraud, a con, blah, blah, blah. So this is what haters do. Okay, haters can't create, so they hate. So number one, you got to understand that this is part of success. All
right, I got to say something while it's fresh on my mind here. I've made this reference several times. So I like to talk about Martin Luther King, right? Who fought for, rights for African Americans, because there's like an overabundance of racism, like blatant racism in the nation. And Susan B. Anthony, who obviously fought for women's rights, women's right to vote, and so on and so forth. yes, these people. So this is a tricky a slippery slope of a conversation, but I want to use them as examples. So yes, people like all the people he mentioned got hated on. So exactly, I honestly put myself. If he's going to compare himself to Jesus, then I'm going to go ahead and compare myself to. No, I'm not even going to compare myself to these people. I am on the same frequency, though, I will say, as Martin Luther King, as Susan B. Anthony. And the reason why I'll explain this, I'm not even near the level of impact they made. And it's completely different topic also, right? So I'm not going to make that claim. But what I will say is they got loud about something they were passionate about, and they got loud about something that was terrible. They were getting loud about an injustice, right? That needed to be, that was wrong, flat out wrong. So I'm doing the same thing. If I see a guru who's out here scamming people and conning people, manipulating, deceiving, interrogating, harassing, and bullying and shaming people into business, and legally doing that, I'm going to say something because it's an unregulated industry. The self-development space, the coaching space, the networking space, the mentorship space, it's unregulated. Nobody's out here policing. Nobody's doing anything to help people prepare for this type of environment. And so that's what I'm doing. So yes, I'm going to actually also get hate. See how this is kind of just a dumb conversation? I can say the same thing. Oh, I'm just going to get hated on too because I'm getting loud about my passion. Oh, he's getting hated on because he's successful. Like, we can go round and round and round with this conversation of haters. We all know they exist. We all know people are negative and trying to drag certain people down. However, I would never make a video talking about clickbaiters and haters and all that. Not a whole entire video about it. I just simply wouldn't. Because now you're trying to convince people. You're trying to get in front of something. Like, it's just a weird energy of trying to convince. And to me, trying to convince somebody of something is a very low energy of operating. So I got to say that. What else does he have to say? This is freaking annoying.
Comes with everything else that success comes with. It comes with the money, the toys, the winning, the victories, the happiness, the celebrations. What also comes with success is this: the criticizer and the hater. Okay, it's like building a house. You build a house, you're going to end up with termites. You have a baby, you're going to end up with poop. Everything comes with a liability. Okay, so don't take it personal that people hate on you. Take it as a compliment. I know it's hard. Number one, understand it's coming. Number two, do not respond directly to these people. There's no reason to use their name. There's no reason to support them. There's no reason to honor them, respond to them. It doesn't matter, dude. They're not doing anything. I know that 10 years from now, they won't be where they won't be anywhere. They will not have done anything. They will be off using or dragging somebody else's name, and I'm going to create my empire. So go out and create your success. Do the things you got to do. Stay focused on prospering. We sent out $40 million this year in Cardone capital distributions. $40 million. Everybody that drags my name combined times 10 and times 10 lifetimes will not generate for themselves that much money, much less give it back to their investors. That's in 1 year I've done that. I'm sorry, that's in 7 months that I've done that. We've done $1.2 billion of sales over the internet. You can put every clickbaiter together in the same room and give them 1,000 lifetimes. They won't produce that much because you cannot produce and create when you hate. It's not possible. You just cannot be, you can't come up with solutions. You can't make the world a better place while you're hating on any one object. Okay? So when I literally put my attention on negativity on one object, how can I create something good over?
All right, so I will say this. He keeps saying this over and over and over. You can't create and hate at the same time. Now that we've established that I'm not a hater, I actually agree with what he's saying to an extent. You definitely, I mean, maybe you can, but your energy is being split up. If you're focused on being a hater, I guess, let's just keep using that damn term, then yes, it's going to take time from you creating something. But I mean, someone like me, I'm just calling things as I see it. I'm able to create at the same time. I'm able to create my own things. This isn't all I do, like just calling people out, talking about things that I see are unethical and a scam. It's not everything. That's not my life. Like I have a bunch of other things I'm doing. I'm working on my third book. I publicly speak. I'm running businesses. I'm a full-time dad. I'm about to cook dinner here in about 15 minutes. I got a lot of things going on. So I can create at the same time. And it's because I'm actually not hating. And I could see where he's talking about that could be true. Like if you're so focused on being negative and hating, yeah, that's going to take a lot of your energy. Thank God I'm not doing that. Because I don't have a bad attitude. Like I said, I've explained it pretty well. I don't hate Grant. I don't hate these people. I hate what they're doing, though. And I hate the evil that they allow to operate under. You know what I mean? I hate that they make bad decisions. Therefore, they start deceiving people and operating in an unethical way. All right? That's what I hate. So maybe I'm a hater of that. I'm not a hater of a person, though. I'm definitely a hater of evil. Absolutely. Put me down for a hater of evil, all right?
Over here, it's not possible. So don't be distracted by the distracted. The third thing, okay, you have to double down on your prosperity and your success. You got to keep expanding. What they hope to do is to contract you. Don't contract, extrovert. Keep extroverting. Keep creating on the things you're doing. Let that detraction become an inspiration for your creation, for your continued creation. I remember hearing Elon Musk say something about somebody asked him, "What do you say about your the people that say you can't do this?" And he looked at the interviewer and says, "We did this." And that is really, really important. Go out and change the world. Go out and service your customers. Service the world that you want to service. Do the things you want to do. Use the hate as an inspiration to actually validate your creation and to do what you're inspired to do. Don't let it stop you. Don't let it distract you. Don't let it introvert you. Keep creating on it. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. It's like anything else, okay? With every asset, every creation of every asset comes some liability. They're termites. They're freaking rats. They will never create anything for themselves and their family that's valuable, much less share it with their customers. They're merchants of chaos, like the media, Fox and CNN, these people that are spreading fake news all around. This is the only thing they can produce, is on the backs of successful people. So go out and be successful. Understand the haters are coming. 2, use it. Use it. Don't recommend them, recognize them, talk about them. Talk about what you're doing. Double down on it, 10x on it. Use it to inspire you to create more success for yourself and your family. Move on. And then last thing is handle your family and friends on it, okay? I had a friend once sent me something. He saw somebody wrote back in 2020, "Oh my God, I read this." I'm like, "Bro, what's wrong with you?" What kind of friend would believe information from some scumbag you don't even know? That's not a friend, okay? And I put his ethics in on it.
So he didn't say, hold on a sec so you could actually see me. He didn't actually say that his friend was accusing him of that. He was saying that his friend sent it to him. So just because someone sent you something, that means he's asking you a question. This is actually crazy, and I would like to know more information about this. I can't really speak on it other than what he just said. But I do know a little something about Scientology and cults. And the whole thing about Scientology and cults that if someone questions you or your ethics or how you're doing things, the rule in a cult and Scientology is that you cut them off. You cut them off. You disregard them, you deny them, you consider them in Scientology a suppressive person. So I'm wondering if the friend actually, I don't think the friend just came at him and said, "Hey bro, are you scamming? Like, is this true? Like, I think this is true. I believe this." I highly doubt that's how he came at him. He probably just brought it up and said, "Hey man, I'm wondering about this." And so Grant automatically, listen to the way Grant's talking on this actually. Because he automatically put him in the box of haters and someone who's he automatically put him in the box of haters and someone who's like accusing him. He wasn't accusing from the sounds of it. From what Grant said, he just sent it to him and questioned him about it. Like, hey, I got sent this, bro. Let's hear him say this again.
I said, stop it. Friend would believe down on it, 10x on it. Use it to inspire you to create more success for yourself and your family. Move on. And then last thing is handle your family and friends on it, okay? I had a friend once sent me something. He saw somebody wrote back in 2020, oh my God, I read this. I'm like, bro, what's wrong with you? What kind of friend would believe information from some scumbag you don't even know? That's not...
See, he didn't say that his friend accused him of it. He said that his friend sent him this and said, oh my God, someone send this. So it sounds like he automatically assumed that his friend believed it.
A friend, okay? And I put his ethics in order. I said, stop it. Don't even ask me about it. Don't challenge me about it. Don't question me about it. How dare...
What the fuck? Why would you not question somebody about it? I think this perfectly fine. Look, I run a business. I've had a construction company for 7 years. Look it up. It's called Precision Patio Covers. If you look at some of the reviews I've gotten about me personally, my team, my company, that's a review. It's there for a reason. I think I have one bad review out of like 92 or something like that. I have some that are extremely good. They're like 3 or 4 paragraphs long because I just did a really good job. Some of those were old that I actually physically worked on the job site, sold them the product, worked on it, and then got a really good review after it. So it's no different than a review. Like, do you need to believe all those reviews? No. But I always like to think, if a company is doing a bad job, if they're unethical, sure, there's going to be, you can't please everybody. Sometimes things happen and they get really pissed and they make a bad review and you can't stop that. However, if you see a frequency in complaints and it's something to take notice in. I understand you can't please everybody and you're going to have that. However, if you got a lot, it is something to look at. And again, someone's going to make the claim, oh, well, I got, 500 reviews and it's inevitable I'm going to have 100 bad reviews. That's not a very good ratio. 100 bad. So that's just an example, right? Like my one bad review out of almost 100, that's a pretty good ratio, right? And I could even explain if someone questioned me about the one bad review, which they have, by the way. Several times I've been asked about that one bad review and I explained it. Transparency, I let them know why I got the bad review, why that person said that, exactly what happened. And so I didn't get all defensive about it. Like, that's what running a business is about. It's there for people to ask you questions. There's no, like, he's trying to shame his friend for asking him. And he said, don't question it. Don't accuse me, which didn't sound like he was accusing him, but he's like, don't question me. Don't challenge me. Like, that's bad energy. For me, I welcome the questioning. I don't mind people asking me if they have a concern about my ethics, my morals, and they have a question about any accusation that's been brought towards me. Ask me. I'll tell you. I don't care. Like, even if it was something that I made a mistake on, because we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I will hold myself accountable and I'll explain if I made a mistake or if I did something wrong to deserve the bad whatever review or bad experience that someone had with me. And so be it. I'll own it and I'll say, yeah, man, I fucked up. Like, it's not a big deal. I've never heard Grant Cardone say he fucked up ever on a bad review or he did something. Like, he just doesn't have that type of energy about him. He preaches accountability, but he'll never take it himself. That's just the type of guy he is. All right, so let's finish this video because I'm done hearing him talk.
Dare you? You're my friend. A friend will support their friends and not listen to the garbage. They will actually overlook the defects of the individual and look at the good they're doing, support them in the good they're doing, trust that they're going to continue to do good. That's what friends do. So don't worry about the haters, worry about the friends that listen to the bullshit from the haters. God bless, be great. 10X.
All right. So yeah, he's basically trying to create this narrative that, haters are gonna hate. Don't question it. What's up, Kat? How you doing? So Kat was saying she don't hate Grant Cardone either. However, I do hate what he creates. 100%, exactly what I was saying. You and me both. Yes. I don't hate people. I hate what people. How did I say that earlier? I hate that people allow evil to come into their life and in their spirit and what they create through that. So, anyways, at the last little bit there that he says in the video, he's like, oh yeah, friends don't question. Friends just ignore all that. It's not a bad thing for a friend to question that. Like if someone is doing business or a friend is associated with somebody, do not shame them for questioning something. They're giving you an opportunity for you to explain yourself and to get a feeling of what your thoughts were about that bad review or transaction or whatever someone's claiming they had a bad experience with you on. There's nothing wrong with that. All right. But yet he's putting out this shameful energy. Like, you should be ashamed of yourself for asking me that question. You should be disgusted with yourself for ever questioning me. You should just ignore all of that and just trust me. There's a certain point where, yes, you can just trust somebody and realize, like, if that is something that's happening, someone's like, oh yeah, he's getting a lot of hate because he's putting himself out there. But at least somebody at least gets a pass one time to question something or ask about something that is potentially a red flag or in question. Ethics are in question. I think every person deserves one shot at that at least. All right. So you can just tell and feel that he's like trying to make his friend feel like shit for asking a legitimate question. So there's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion. So anyways, my thoughts on Grant's response towards people and clickbaiters and haters and all that. That is him not taking accountability, in my opinion. He doesn't even respond to any direct accusations, legal accusations, like stuff that has had proof supplied with. He's not really stepped up and said, oh yeah, well that specific thing. It reminds me of Andy Elliott. Andy Elliott, I was just talking to Brad Lee recently, and he was telling me that Andy Elliott held himself accountable for the mistakes he made in the past. No, he hasn't. All he said, as far as I know, is that I've made mistakes. That's not holding yourself accountable. That's just such a vague little blanket statement for everybody to, like, hey, I've made mistakes. Let's move on. Let's look over the things I've done. Can we please get past this? No. Accountability is addressing the exact thing that is being brought up. If someone's accusing me of something, I'm going to address that thing. All right. And I'm not going to just go and waste my time on every little thing. At some point, you should have been able to respond to just a handful of things enough to where it's going to cover any other further accusations. Unless something keeps coming up, then there's a problem. Like I said, if you got 100 reviews and 50 of them are bad, or even 30 or 20 of them are bad, that's a red flag to me. That's something to look at. That's definitely room for improvement. And I've used my own business as an example. I have one bad review out of almost 100. It's a pretty good ratio. If I had 10 at least, that would justify someone taking a closer look or questioning me or giving me, a little bit of heat for it, or just demanding or asking, like, hey, can you explain this a little bit to me? I have no problem with that. So anyways, this energy is really shitty from Grant. It's terrible. And it's just a inability to hold himself accountable so he can continue to do the things he does without anybody questioning, with everybody just turning a blind eye. All right. And if you keep questioning him, guess what? He's going to shame you. He's going to put you in a box, and he's going to ultimately be like, yeah, I'm going to have to cut you off, bro. You're being negative. That actually happened. If you look back in my Instagram feed, you're going to see that I was reaching out to former 10X business coaches that were partners of mine and associates of mine, asking them to jump on a conversation with me to talk about how Grant has changed their life. And one of them was responding to me and saying, yeah, bro, I seen a bunch of your content. You're talking shit about Grant. And personally, I like Grant. He's changed my life. I'm like, perfect. Let's get you on the conversation, a live convo, and you can tell me about these things. He's like, yeah, no, you're just being negative and you're actually making me uncomfortable. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, There's no negativity, bro. I don't hate you. I don't hate Grant. I'm asking for a polite, mature, productive conversation. There's nothing other than that. And he's like, yeah, bro. Yeah, you're just being you're just being negative, and like just completely went down a narrow path of thinking I was being negative when there was none of that. I posted all the conversations so that people could see how the trajectory of the direction that conversation took. It was quite crazy. So, yeah, it's just a way to never ever step up to the things that you claim you're confident in. And I hate that. I hate when people hide behind the hater excuse. Oh, everybody's just a hater. Like, that is an inability to hold yourself accountable. Of course, we all know there's haters. We know people that are out there. That doesn't mean you shouldn't talk about the things you're being accused of, especially if they're serious. Especially if they're serious. You should put out a public statement, in my opinion, stating all the things that are false and why. Like, you should just talk about it. If you just make a blatant statement like this, like, hey, everybody makes mistakes, or hey, everybody's going to hate, bro. Like, you should be ashamed of yourself for even looking at this and questioning me at all. That's a red flag in itself, in my opinion. So anyways, I'm going to jump off here, guys. This has been great. Stay tuned for the next live stream I'll be doing. I'll probably talk a little bit more about this topic. I have a couple other things I need to kind of touch base on as well. So until then, have a good rest of your day. We'll chat with you guys later. All right.